salad. And kale is a dark leafy green, and a lot of people you get to your dark leafy greens and you know they're good for you, but you know, what do I do with them? I mean, you can saute them. You know, I put kale in soup. You can stir fry with them. But this is a way to make a nice kale salad. So what I did is I cleaned all my kale first, and then I destemmed it. So I just like took the leaf and pulled it off the stem. You can juice the stem if you want. If you have a juicer, that's nice to do. And then I did a chiffonade, which is a thin ribbon cut. So you can see this is a, you know, it's thin ribbon cut. So I'm going to put all my kale in here. If you have any questions, just let me know. I prepped this because it kind of takes a little bit of time, and I didn't think you'd all want to watch me chiffonading a whole bunch of kale. Not too exciting. Okay, so there's our kale right there. And now we're going to make the dressing or the marinade. And the thing about this dressing or marinade is that it's going to soften the kale and make it more digestible. So we're making it first so it has time to sit. So first we're going to put, this is a Vitamix blender. I don't know if you're all familiar with this, but I've had it for about, I was telling about 10, 11 years. It'll probably last me a lifetime. So it's a little pricey. It's like $450, $500, but this is actually a rebuilt one. They have ones that aren't new that are rebuilt motors, so they're a little less expensive. And I think if you go in and two people buy, if you each buy one, I think they give you a discount. I don't work for Vitamix. I just love my Vitamix. That's all.
Everyone who has one does. I don't know anyone who has one.
Yeah. So I'm going to put in 3 cloves of garlic. I like a lot of garlic, but you know, some of you may not. And ginger is the next ingredient. So I don't know if you all know how to peel ginger, but here's a real easy way. You have your ginger, you have a spoon, and you just scrape it off. Easy, and then you don't lose a lot of ginger this way. Okay, so I'm going to put about, whoops, not that piece, man overboard. Now if you have a regular blender, you want to chop things up smaller. This blender, I mean, I could put my hand in here and it would liquefy it, so you know, I don't need to chop as much. I'm sorry for that visual, but it's a very strong blender, right? I don't put my hand in there. Okay, so we have our ginger, we have our garlic, and then we're going to do equal parts fresh lemon juice and namashoyu. And I brought the bottle so you guys can see what namashoyu is. It's an unpasteurized soy sauce. It's very high quality, high end. You need to get it in a health food store. Markets don't carry it, but it's really nice, and it's used in raw living foods cuisine. I don't know if you're familiar with that, the whole raw living foods movement, but this salad actually comes from raw living foods.
I think it's not.
Yeah. So it's equal parts lemon and equal parts of the namashoyu. Whatever, you know, this is half a cup of each, but you can do a quarter of a cup as well. So what we're going to do, oh, and my dates. Now, we're going to emulsify this in the blender, and I have a little cheating trick because sometimes it's just hard, or your blender, you know, tricky blenders, or your blender might not be fast enough. So here's a foolproof method. And a little bit of sweetness with this, with the ginger and the garlic and the salty, a little bit of sweetness is nice. So these are medjool dates. I'm going to take the pit out. The blender will not blend the pit. And I'm going to put the dates in, and what that will do is it'll guarantee me that creaminess. Because otherwise, if you don't get this exactly right with the emulsification, it'll break and become too liquidy, and I want it creamy, because I want it to stick on the kale. So that's my cheating, are the dates. The other thing you can do is, at the end of this, if you make it and it breaks, it doesn't maintain its creaminess. Hemp nut seeds, or hemp seeds, you can get those at a health food store. Good product, and they have protein in them. They're a little expensive, but you can put a little hemp seed in here and it'll thicken it back up again. It doesn't take much, but that's another trick. Those are the 2 tricks to thicken if you lose it. But so what we're going to do is I need to see inside the blender, because when I turn this on, it's going to, you know, make a circle, an open circle like this as it goes around. And as I pour the oil in, it's going to close and close and close. And right at the end, I have to turn it off immediately so that it maintains the emulsification. So here's my oil. This is a very good oil that's been, it's cold pressed. It's been on sale down at City Market for $9.99, so I've been buying it. The best olive oil is one of the best is biryani, and you can probably order it online, but it's stone crushed, it's never exposed to heat, and it's fantastic. You never want to cook with it or heat it, always cold. Okay. So that's it. You can see I used a lot of oil. When I make this, I make a lot because it's just good to have. And it's a little bit time consuming to chiffon like that. So, okay, so let me show you what it looks like. This is the consistency you're going for. See the thick creaminess? That's what you want. Okay, so now I'm going to pour this on.
What leaves is that?
Pardon me?
Kale leaves?
Kale, yes.
Kale.
And another thing I like to mix in, if you want to make a note of this, is chard. I like to use chard as well. It's nice to mix that in. It needs to be a strong green to hold up to this dressing, because the idea is that dressing, like I said, softens it. So you can't, like lettuce and things like that, it won't hold up to it. So that's why this is good for dark leafy greens. I would not recommend collard greens. Those are fairly tough greens, collards. What you could do if you want to use collards is you could steam them a little bit to soften them up and then put the dressing on them. If you like collards. Okay, so I'm just tossing it around. Yes, ma'am. It's going to sit and marinate. It's best overnight.